Hello and welcome to Mathematics Made Easier channel. This is your favorite mathematics tutor, Comfort Amuakun Ata. Those joining us for the first time, I give you a warmly welcome. And if you are yet to subscribe to the channel, please look down there and click on the subscribe button to subscribe. And click on the notification bell to receive updates all the time. Good. So today we are talking about probability. Let's now take a look at the lesson objectives. So by the end of the lesson, you should be able to, the students should be able to, 1, determine the sample space of a simple experiment. 2, determine the sample space of a compound experiment. 3, calculate the probability of an event. 4, interpret or improbability as addition. Okay, so for that one, then the 5th one, interpret and improbability as multiplication. Now, after looking at the lesson objectives, let's now come to the main business of the day, probability. When you say probability, it is the likelihood or the chances of an event occurring or happening. Probability also is the study of events which may or may not occur. Good. Now, the theory of probability originated from the game of chance. For example, tossing of coins, throwing of dice, drawing a card from a pack of cards, lottery, and many others. So with this one, you cannot say for sure, or you cannot predict for sure that this will happen. Let's look at throwing of a die. A die has how many sample spaces? 6. 6 faces. So if you throw the die, you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Any of these numbers can occur. So you cannot predict for sure that you are going to get 3 in this throw. And that makes it what? A prediction. That is probability. There is a likelihood that any of these numbers can occur. In our previous lesson, we treated about some definitions in probability. And under that, we looked at what an experiment is. We looked at what trial is, what an outcome is, even what likely outcomes are. So equally likely outcomes, random sampling, and many other terms. So if you don't know these terms, go back to our previous lesson and revise from the notes. Now let's continue. For probability, for example, if all the sample events in the sample space S are likely, then the probability of any event E occurring is given as P bracket E. That is the probability of the event occurring. Is equal to number of sample points in E over the number of sample points in S. So this is a mathematical form of what we've written here. Probability E is equal to number of the events over the number of the sample space. Okay, so these are some basic things you have to take note in probability. Then after defining what probability is, we now come back to some illustrative examples. Example 1. If S is equal to 1 to 10, then the event that the number chosen from S is greater than 4 is, so we have the sample space, and these are the sample space, number 1 to 10. Then the event that the number chosen from S is greater than 4. From our list, mention the numbers greater than 4. We have 5, we have 6, we have 7. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All these numbers are greater than 4. So these are the events. Therefore, the probability is 6, because we have 6 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 over the whole sample space, 10. That is the number of digits we have here. So 6 over 10. Then from this, we can still break it down. So we now break it down to get our final answer as 3 over 5. Then a second example under this same one is find the probability that a number chosen at random is less than 5. So if it is less than 5, from now let's go back to our numbers. All these ones are less than 5. We have 1. Numbers less than 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we take that as our event. So E as the event is equal to, you bring your curly brackets, then you list the numbers inside. Therefore, the probability that a number chosen at random is less than 5 is equal to the number of events over the number of total sample space. So we have 4 digits over the sample space as 10. We can still simplify this. Then we break it down to get 2 over 5. So simple, right? Now let's take some simple self-assessment questions. For this one, we have 1. If S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A, what is the probability of selecting numbers less than 4? So you have to tell me the probability, something over something. Events over the total sample space. Don't forget. B, what is the probability of selecting numbers greater than 5 from this same set of numbers? What is the probability of selecting even numbers? So you list the even numbers in this as your event and you divide it by the total sample space. D, what is the probability of selecting numbers which are multiples of 3? So from this set of numbers, list the multiples of 3 as your event and divide it by the total sample space. Thank you so much for your time. In our next tutorial, we will talk about how to describe probabilities. Then we talk about the probability scale plus the laws of probability. There are some basic laws in probability that you need to know about. So we'll have a look at it and take some sample questions under it. Thank you. I believe this tutorial was helpful. Please practice more and solve more questions under this. So we meet again. Please stay safe and learn hard. Bye.